So now that we've taxied up to the no taxi line here at this field, or we've ended our flight in the position that we want to be in, we are going to follow our post-flight checklist. The first step of which, very, very important, is to activate the throttle cut by moving that H switch, which is up here on the top right, to the 0 position. So now when I move the throttle, the motor and the propeller do not spin. Again, very, very important for safety. Now I can pick up the airplane and take it to where I want to go to disconnect the battery. So I'm going to set it down here. I'm going to pop the hatch and I'm going to disconnect the battery, and then I'm immediately going to remove it from the aircraft. Don't leave the battery in the aircraft for storage, for transport. Also, you don't want to leave the battery in there and forget that it wasn't a fully charged one and go to fly with it again. Trust me, I've done that myself from experience. Now that the battery's out of the airplane, it's disconnected from the airplane is safe, it's off. I'm going to turn off the transmitter. The DXS here, you have to hold down the button for a few seconds until you hear it beep, and then it has turned off. So now that the transmitter is off, the battery is out of the airplane. If I was to have damaged any of the parts of the airplane during that flight or a bad landing or something like that, I would inspect the airplane, look at any of the parts that might need to be repaired or replaced. And then after that, I'm pretty much ready to take the airplane to transport and store it. A real quick note on storage of your battery. So you do want to store the battery out of the airplane in a safe, cool space. You don't want to leave a battery, especially in a hot car. You don't even want to leave the airplane or the transmitter in a hot car, a trailer, anything like that. Usually a garage is okay, especially if it's climate controlled, but even be careful. You don't want to store them in a hot garage. Basically, you want to keep this battery as close to room temperature as you can for storage. Also, an important thing, which we talked about in the pre-flight checklist, is now after that flight, I can check the voltage of my battery to see what the level is. The very important thing with LiPo batteries is you do not want to store them fully charged. That hurts the battery faster than anything else. You don't want to do that because it does deteriorate the battery very, very quickly. So in this case, I can see I didn't fly for very long. I've got 80% left in this battery. Now, one benefit of smart batteries is it will self-discharge to roughly about 50 to 60% charge level on its own after a certain number of hours. By default, it's 72 hours. You can adjust that using a checker like this and a programmer like this or the charger. I'll oftentimes set mine to 48 hours. It's just personal preference. So after that amount of time, it will discharge down to 50%. Now, if the battery was much lower than 50%, let's say it was down to 20%, I would actually want to put it on charge to get it up to the 50 to 60% level. Some more advanced chargers will have a storage charge option that does that for you automatically. Other chargers, you'll have to just charge it up fully and then let it discharge back to the storage charge level on its own. But again, that's a really, really great feature of these Spectrum Smart LiPo batteries. And don't forget, A, don't store them fully charged, and B, make sure you store it in a cool, dry, and safe space away from everything else. You don't want kids to get their hands on it. You don't want pets to get their hands on it or their mouths on it and chew on the wires and things like that. It's very important that you store these safely and, again, not fully charged. So that is it. Thank you guys for following along with this video series that takes you from unboxing to assembling to the pre-flight checklist, your first flights, and ultimately now your post-flight checklist for the AeroScout. You are ready to continue your journey in learning how to fly successfully, hopefully becoming a better pilot in less time than ever before, moving on to your second airplane and beyond. But don't forget, this AeroScout is a special airplane because it can be a trainer and it can be an airplane that you have with you for many, many, many years to come, no matter how experienced, no matter how capable of a pilot you hopefully become. Thank you.